In today's video, we talk about the steps you need to take to pursue your passion as a career.
All by myself.
Guys, what is going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. First things first, if you liked our first podcast or didn't even know about it, check the link below. Lauren Conlon and I's second episode of Redefined Healthy Radio is live. We're going to be doing a podcast the 1st and the 15th of every month going forward. And maybe we'll do more. But for now, we're setting ourselves up with the schedule the 1st and the 15th. It's going to keep us focused on the task at hand. The newest episode talks about competition dieting, when you should push forward and do another show, when you should call it quits. Kind of get into the mindset of a competitor from, she and I have both been through multiple contest prep phases. We both coached competitors through multiple contest prep phases, so we have a lot of good insight for you, so go check that out. And now, let's talk about today's video. I'm going to do something a little bit different than I usually do. So I got a very interesting email, and it was something that I wanted to address, but didn't feel I could do so with an email back. So what I'm going to do is read you the email. I'll put it on the screen, but I'm going to read it so you get the audio. And I'll read it to you, and then I'm just going to respond as my heart desires. I feel like I should do the Casey Kasem voice. Christina Sisk. Dear Paul, I know your time is valuable, and I want to preface this with a thank you for even reading this. I have been a subscriber to your YouTube channel for a long time and truly appreciate all the great content you provide. You are one of my inspirations in the fitness industry, and I was wondering if you had a little extra time, if you might pass on a little more of your knowledge. I have been strength training for a few years now and love the process of learning, being challenged, and changing. I am extremely passionate in strength sports and am so close to reaching an elite level status in the powerlifting federation I participate in. Within the last few years, I had been aimless, and despite having a reasonably good job, a bachelor's degree, a 4.0, and an MBA program, I've wanted more. Those things don't feed my soul or give me purpose. I felt my deepest desire is to be able to help others in something I deeply believe in and love. Although I've been training in strength for only a few years, my analytical mind has picked up so much and wants to be able to know more and do more. After many late nights, even years of deliberation, I feel right choice for me is to pursue coaching or personal training. That being said, I know there are so many bad coaches out there, and I don't want to be another bad statistic. I truly want to gain as much expertise as possible to help anyone as much as I can. This sport has saved my life in more ways than one, and I want to give back. If you've made it this far, here is where I ask my question. Haha. I'm not exactly sure how or where to get started. I can't afford another 4-year degree at this point. I'm unfortunately recently dropped to part-time at my job, but have considered an associate's in exercise science. I'm not sure if I need to pursue a general personal training certification and look into commercial gyms or go another route. What would your advice be on the subject, and what direction would be the best? I luckily am only a 45-minute drive from Juggernaut Training Facility and have considered reaching out to Chad Wesley Smith. I do have a powerlifting coach that I am loyal to, so I don't necessarily want to switch coaches. But I feel I need a mentor in the area, and I'm not sure if that's something he would consider. What do you think? I truly appreciate any and all time of yours in reading or responding to me. I hope you have a success in your business, and thank you again for all your knowledge I want to impart. And that is from Christina Sisk. First of all, thank you very much, Christina, for all the kind words, for listening, for following along, for being a part of my journey as I document it. And you are exactly why I'm documenting it, because you see, I'm very new at this. And for some people, it may seem like I've been doing this for a long time, but 5 years, that's it. 5 years I've been a coach. And I would only say in the last 3 to 4 years have I felt like I have a grasp on this job, this life that I'm trying to build. And even then, it's still a struggle day to day. I still have tons of stress and things that are involved in my life, but it's all gotten better. You see, before that I had a 9-to-5 job, and so when you don't get that steady paycheck, it's always very stressful when you're the person in charge of you. And so I have some very specific advice for you based on my journey. Does it mean it's the right advice? I don't know. I can't tell you. The one thing about being a small business owner or owning your own business or entrepreneur or whatever category you would consider me to fit into is that I don't really feel like there is a set path for all of us. It's really about putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort, and the real reason that we talk about doing what you love or doing something you're passionate about is because the amount of work that it takes to be successful on your own far surpasses the amount of work it takes to be successful at a job. Those 40-hour weeks do not exist when you're running your own business. So I want to give you some advice based on the questions that you asked me. The most apparent one to me is, how should you proceed if you want to be successful in the coaching? And the most direct way I can say this is get involved, be a part of the community. You're already powerlifting. You're very close to Chad Wesley Smith, who has a great following and a great knowledge base, and someone that would be great to get involved with. You already clearly have been a part of the community. When I got into coaching, it was sheerly through jumping into the community as a whole. You see, I got on the message boards, I started talking to people, I made friends with those that were natural bodybuilders and competing. And so, although it was never my goal to be a coach, what I didn't realize was I was building a foundation within a community. So for you, my number one suggestion would be build a foundation in the community. You can do that by attending a lot of events, finding out what's nearby to you, traveling, jumping on Facebook groups for powerlifting, attending all the powerlifting meets, of course, that you can, but also being there for others. You see, powerlifters need handlers, they need spotters, so when you start training with those people, you start getting involved in their lives, you start learning about them. Maybe you're helping them with their programming, you're giving them feedback, you're helping them with their video content, they're helping you with your video content, you're putting out information, and as it grows, it's just going to seed out of you your passion. You're not going to have to force it. You're not going to have to sit there and make posts and do videos about your passion, because you're going to be living it so much that it will just naturally come out and it will be a part of everything that you discuss and talk about it. And that's when people will look at you differently. You see, when I became a full-time coach and I shifted gears, I believe that changed my perception. Now I am a coach. That is what I do. When people see me, they say, "Hey, coach," which is very weird to me because it was never my goal, as I said at the beginning, but I love it. I love what I do. I love spending time at competitions. I love calling my clients on the phone. I love talking to people, answering emails, helping them in their journey, which is part of the reason why I'm having the discussion with you today, because I feel like this message can reach a lot of people, because it's a question I get quite frequently. I just took a class at USF, and so that lends itself to the next thing. Should you go back to school and get another 4-year degree? I don't think that's necessary. I do think it's necessary to be continuing to educate yourself in all of the things that you want to be a part of. So for powerlifting, I think it'd be very relevant for you to start paying attention to upper level powerlifters, some of the research that's going on. Maybe look at some of the stuff that's going in the monthly application of Strength Sport, right? Mike Zordos is doing some fabulous research. There's a lot of people out there that are putting out things like Mike Tuchscherer. There's so much information out there that I feel like the most important thing for you is to just be a part of it. Now, would it help to go get a 4-year degree in exercise science or in kinesiology, biomechanics? Get your CSCS? Of course, all of these kind of credentials are going to be very valuable to you, but nothing is as valuable as taking all this information in and then being a content provider and giving it back to those that might be interested. Now for me, that was through competition. I got on stage, I dieted down, I got really lean, I talked about my diet, I talked about my cardio. I became a part of it. I went and met my coach. My coach and I became friends. He's the one that got me to get to coaching. And just like that, I feel like that's the best path for you. Get involved. You asked about reaching out to Chad Wesley Smith. Why wouldn't you? What's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is you go reach out to Chad Wesley Smith and say, "Man, this is my passion. I want to do it. Let me just help you. Let me intern. Let me do anything." And he says no. Worst case scenario, you're just where you are right now. But if the best case scenario, he says, "Yeah, let's talk about what we can do. Let's talk about what your passions are, what you want to learn." Because Chad, from all I gather, don't know him, is an entrepreneur, someone that's chasing his passion, that's pursuing it, and he probably had the same question. So a lot of times what you're going to be doing right now is just being a part of the fitness journey of others, helping out others, putting yourself in the position and sharing information. Show others what you go through. Show people your training, your sets. Talk about why you do things the way you do. And that's how you build a culture around yourself and can become a coach. Now, again, I'm still learning as I go. I am learning to become a content provider. I'm still working on my education. I'm still learning as a coach, but I am being a part of the community that I want to be a part of through sheer force of will. I am fortunate enough at this time that I am able to travel around the world and be a part of the journeys of my clients. This weekend, I'll be at the Tampa Pro Show with a bunch of clients. I'll be there with Lauren Conlon, right? And then in coming months, we're going to be at the Olympia. There's just so much going on that I get to be a part of, and I'm very blessed, and I feel like that's continuing me to move forward and allow me to do more, and that's all you need to do, is focus on what you can do to do more. Hopefully, that wasn't too vague. I can't really give you a black and white answer. All I can tell you is that my journey happened almost by accident, but through sheer force of will, because I was just determined to be involved in the gym. And I never thought of it as a career, but I always thought of it as something that I love to do. And once I realized that, I stopped beating myself up about it. I stopped doing all these other things that were counterproductive to my hobby that made me happy, and I put a lot more effort into it. That's gonna be it for today. Hopefully, Christina, that was helpful to you, and anybody that's watching this video, hopefully you found it helpful. And if not, there's always tomorrow's videos. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. This is Paul from ProPhysique.com, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.